Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best. Yeah.
Let's roll. Today is about looping motion. And it's a really, really common thing in little game programs that you might create where you have something that either falls down the screen, and once it falls off the bottom of the screen, it needs to refresh back up to the top and fall again, or it might move across the screen, and once it is across the screen and it goes from one side to the other, then it needs to refresh back to the original side that it was on. So we're going to take a loop at that. Here we go. Go to the game lab. You might want to rename this. I'm going to call this, you got to do 2 programs today, and I'm going to just call this loop 1, and I'm going to go over to the animation tab over here, and I am going to use the diamond. And I'll just take that _1 off of there, and I'm just going to call it or diamond. That's fine with me. Back to code, and let's go to work and do the things that we do. All right, you got to set this up. It's going to need got to set up the variable for the sprite, and it's also going to need a velocity. Now on this first one, what I'm going to do is make the diamond fall from the top down to the bottom. When it gets down to the bottom, once it disappears, it needs to refresh back up to the top. So that's where I'm going to assign it a velocity y. All right, excuse me. Now I'm just going to call this diamond here, and I'm going to set it over 200 and down 0 to begin with. That'll be at the middle of the top of the screen. This will be diamond, and I want it to look like that diamond that I picked out. This will be diamond, and I want to just give it a y velocity. I want it to fall down, so that's going to be a positive number. I'll just use 5. If you want it to fall faster, use a bigger number. Inside the draw loop we go. Let's set a background color. I'm going to use blue. Use whatever you want. And just to check it, I'm just going to go over here to World and bring over a Draw Sprites and just run that program. And so we've got a falling diamond. That part of it's working. All right, let's reset and let's go to work. Now we start working on, okay, here's what we're after today, and this is not a difficult thing. This is going to involve an if block. So I'm going to go to control and bring over an if block. I'm checking the Y location of that diamond. If it's gone off the bottom of the screen, I want it to reappear back up at the top. So that's going to be, and I'm just going to type this. You can use blocks and all that, but I'm just going to type it in. If diamond.y is greater than, now you could say 400 here, or you could say 410, 420 if you really wanted to get it completely off the screen. That's kind of up to you. I'll do a 410. All right, so if diamond.y is greater than 410, that's the condition. All right, what do we want to have happen if that's true? Well, one thing I want to have happen is that I want to reset the diamond, and I'm going to use a sprite block for this. So I'm going to reset diamond.y, got to spell it correctly, diamond.y back up to 0. All right, it's got to go back to the top of the screen. Now, if I run that now, it's going to work. It falls down, and when it gets off the bottom, it falls down again, and it just keeps falling down, and that's exactly what we're trying to create here. We're trying to create some looping motion. Now, I'm going to throw in a couple of other quick things here just because I can. They're not really required. But when we reset it, when we say if diamond.y is greater than 410, could we not also do this? Couldn't we say, let's set diamond.x to a random number that could be anything between 0 and 400. And let's take a look at what that does. And let's speed this up just a little bit, not a ton. I'm going to take it up to 8 instead of 5. So now it's falling, and every time it falls, and obviously I still didn't spell it right. You guys probably saw that. I'll just fix it. All right, reset and run that. Okay. Now what you'll get now is sometimes the diamond is going to fall over on the left-hand side of the screen, and sometimes it falls over in the right, sometimes it falls in the middle, because the X location of the diamond is random every time it loops around. And that's a really good gameplay thing, right? So what we've got here is a looping behavior that has some randomness included in it, and that's really pretty good. So this is one of the programs right here. You got to make something, and I want something on the y-axis. I want something. You could make it go up if you wanted to, but I want something to fall down. When it gets off the bottom, it has to loop back up to the top. This whole random thing, and that's kind of up to you. And you could even, let's see, could I do this? Diamond, better spell it right. Rotation speed equals 7. And let me reset that and run it. Okay, yeah, that didn't. But you could. I was going to say you can make it rotate. Oh, it is working. I judged too soon there. So now my diamond is rotating as it's falling. All right. So anyway, there you go. That's one of the programs. The second one, and if you're if you feel confident about this, then stop this video and go do it. But I'll go ahead and work through this in case you need to see it. You could remix and rename. I think what I'll do is I'll just create a new one. I'll just, right, and this is going to be, I'm going to rename it, and this will be loop 2, and I'm going to go fast. All right, loop 2, save that. I'll go over to the animation. I'll just use the diamond again, except I'm in too big of a hurry. All right, there's my diamond. And I like take off that underscore 1 right there. Okay, cool. And here we go. Now this time the only difference is going to be we're going to do an x-axis kind of thing. So it's going to be an x velocity here. I'm going to call it gem this time. It's just a little easier to type. I'm going to make this over 0 and down 200, so it'll be at the left-hand edge, and this will be gem. And I want to make it look like that diamond. This will be gem. And the velocity I'll set at 8. Sounds good. Let's make a background color. I'll use blue. I'll do a draw sprites here. Run that once. So now what we've got is a horizontally moving diamond. All right. Now we do the conditional part that loops it over and over. It's moving left to right. So I'm going to go bring over an if block. I'm going to say if gem.x is greater than, and this is where it could be 400, 410, 420, whatever you want to do. All right. If you go past 400, it makes sure that it gets off the edge of the screen. All right. So if gem.x gets greater than 420, what do I want to do? I want to set the .x back to 0. And again, this is like last time. I could bring over the y. I could say gem.y is a random number between 0 and 400. And again, if you want, just for kicks, gem rotation speed equals like 10. Are we good? Let's find out. Here we go. All right. Yeah, it has to go through the loop one time. I could set the rotation speed at the beginning, and it would rotate the whole time. But now what we got is looping behavior, which is what we want. It's moving left to right. Once it goes off of the right, it comes back on the left. I also added a random y coordinate in there so that sometimes it's at the top, sometimes it's at the bottom. Never know. So those are your 2 programs today, loop 1, loop 2. All right, not too hard. Time for you to jump in and have at it.
Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sun.